Were you getting an outsized amount of attention from dudes from a young age? Because I feel like a lot of times that's what kind of draws girls into getting into trouble and whatnot.
No, not really. You know, I had guys and shit like that, but guys was not the thing. I think it was more like getting away from the bullshit.
Right.
I just wanted to be loved, hugged, understood, you know?
It's just that, like, I feel like there's so much risk when you're a young woman. There's just like infinite dudes that want to take advantage of you. Or
for sure. Yeah. Hell yeah. But then I ran into like some pimp out there in Atlantic, and he would tell everybody, yeah, I ain't fucking with her. Don't fuck with her.
Really?
Like,
why?
She's cool. I don't know. He just always protected me. He's like, I like you, Smiley. He's like, you cool, man. I got you, man. I'll take care of you. You know, and there was other times where he wasn't around and guys would try to pick me up, like way older guys, like, hey, get in the car. Cause I would sleep in the street sometimes. Get in the car. And I'll be like, all paranoid, like, hell no, like, you got me fucked up. I'm not doing that. But I always made sure if I slept in the street, I was sleeping like at a gas station or a donut shop, something that was open 24/7 where there was cameras, you know? So, but yeah, most definitely I picked up on men that just wanted to use me. They would probably looked at me like, she's stupid. She's going to give it up. Right. She just wants love. Yeah, it came with a lot of that.
You never got into prostitution though at a young age?
No, but you know what? No, I've never said this story on my live. I usually share my
This is the good place to do some exclusives right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was like 19 or 20, I was roaming around. I was really out there in the street. So I met this guy from Compton, and he was like, why you out here like this, man? You know, you could be making money.
Was his name Big Ski?
No.
Oh, never mind. Sorry.
No. Damn, you interviewed him? No. So he was like, you could be making money. Why you out here struggling like this? And I'm like, really? And I'm here thinking like, ooh, I'm gonna sell fucking big shit, dope. And he's like, why don't you work the blade? And I don't know if you ever heard of Long Beach Boulevard out in Compton, Lynnwood.
Yeah. That was when I moved to Southern California. That was the first stroll that I saw was on Long Beach Boulevard because I moved to Long Beach.
That's where you want to go pick up your first girl. Nah,
I didn't take part, especially at that age. I was not even thinking about it.
Nah, but yeah, and he almost brainwashed me to do it. He's like, come on, you should do it. And I'm like, fuck no. You know, I stood in the corner and I was like, there's no way I'm going to fuck this motherfucker. There's no way I'm going to be with this fool. Like, nah, I'm young. Like, I'm not doing that.
Right.
So I just got into, like pretending I was a hooker, and I'll stand by the corners. I still remember on Orchard in Long Beach, there was a Pizza Loca there, and I would stand there because it was a cut. And I'm like, it's the perfect spot to come up on all these motherfuckers thinking they're going to get pussy. I'm going to come up on them.
So you just robbed the dudes that thought they were you.
Yeah.
How much money would you be able to get, or how would you do it?
Not much. They let me borrow a little bleaky, or, you know, sometimes I didn't even have one, and I'll be like, man, get the fuck out the car, give me your fucking money. Someone would be like, bitch, I'll fuck you up. And then when I did have that, I'll be like, click, click. All right, bitch, watch, get off the fucking car.
So you had to pop it, or you just showed it?
No, I just be like, click, click, you know, like that's it. I never popped it. You know, there's people that be scared and be like, they'll jump off the car.
Yeah.
And I did that for a bit, but then I was like, nah.
That's a scary game to be in right there.
It is, you know, that's like doing time.
Yeah.
That's fucking doing big time. So I just did that for a little bit. But yeah, going to the prostitution, I thank God I never did it, you know, because I really did think about it.
I mean, you see the girls on Soft White Underbelly, and you kind of realize like how intertwined the meth and the prostitution is, where it's like they kind of need to do this shit to be able to force themselves to do something so unpleasant all day, and then they kind of have to sell a lot of pussy in order to buy more meth, and it's just this vicious cycle.
Yeah. Oh no, that wasn't my issue. I've always worked. Like, well, after from 19, I was a CNA, so I've always had money for dope, or I would just go to the homies pad. Hey, fool, can I get a hit? Hey, you got some shit? You know, I always got some shit. That was never an issue.
Definitely. Because when it comes to meth, I have told the story a million times, but when I was, I don't know, 30 or something, I had this girl that I used to hang out with, this porn star chick or ex-porn star, and we would hang out and we would do Xans and shit. Like, that was pretty much really like the only drug that we did. We did GHB a little bit, but mostly we would just do Xans and smoke weed and shit. And then one night we were at a party and she said that she was going to go get some coke, and then she came back and she had some fucking rocks in her hand, and I'm like, what are those? And she didn't, I don't even know if she told me what they were, but she was like, it's super fun and it makes sex really, really good. And I was like, you know, kind of drunk already. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
And we did it. That definitely was meth. And then
like, bing.
Yeah. And then we ended up spending the rest of the night, like, and then the next night as well, just snorting this shit. And then just smoking hella weed and just, fucking for like absurd lengths of time. I won't even get into it, but it was definitely like, you know, okay, after that second night, I go home, I go to bed, I wake up, it's raining. I'm just like so depressed. Like I felt so shitty, so low. And at that moment, I realized like, oh, this is what happens. People get picked up for a day or two, and then they feel so bad that they keep doing it in order to avoid that feeling. And luckily, I had like the strength of mind and being 30 years old that I was, which is pathetic to be 30 doing meth for the first time, but you know, I realized like, oh, okay, I need to like absolutely not ever do this again. But it was weird having that like little window into like, if I was a less strong person, or if I was 10 years younger and I didn't have the same resolve, that I felt like I could have easily seen how people just end up spending the rest of their life kind of on and off on that. And
I think sometimes it's the lifestyle you live and what you're living in that you'll get stuck on that shit. And I think that's why I kept on doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just in the streets. I was like, man, my mom don't love me. Because I did feel for one point like, damn, she don't fucking love me. Moms don't fucking do that. You know? I get it. You tell your kid, man, get the fuck out. But you're like, shit, like, where you at? Are you going to come back? You know?
My parents definitely kicked me out a few times. But like, they were trying to get me back like right away. Yeah, because
I do that to my fucking 19-year-old. Like, man, get the fuck out. If you ain't gonna listen to me, get the fuck out.
You just want to show them like how bad the repercussions could be.
Exactly, you know. But I want them back. But yeah, I think that's why I got stuck with that shit, and I was around people that did it, and that fucked me up. Because at first I was enjoying it. You know, there's levels to it. You're enjoying it. Now you're needing it. Now you're craving it. Now it's with you, now you look different, and bitch, now you lost it all. Now what you finna do, bitch? You gonna stick with it, or you gonna get fucking right, you know? And obviously I didn't get right. I kept on using because it was hard to fucking let go. You know, like then withdrawals are fucking bad. So I ended up like slowly giving up on it like in 2018, 2019. Wow. I was at a shelter, and I was in Glendale. I was at a shelter there, and I've never been in an area like that. All I know is Lynnwood, Compton, Watts, Downey. That's all I know.
And how'd you end up in Glendale? Because for people who don't know, Glendale, like largely Armenian area, a little bit nicer for sure, not as grimy as a lot of places by South Central and shit.
Exactly. Through shelters. Through shelters, I had to call 211. You know, so for any lady that's going through shit, 211 is where you call. And
so it's like 911, but like for people who just need like assistance. And,
exactly. For anything, like from Christmas gifts for your kids, food, electricity, anything, you know, to help the low income. So they gave me a number to Canoga Park. That was a 30-day shelter. I made it's like you're applying applications to get a job, so you have to apply for shelters. Yeah,
because 30 days is like, you know, it's cool. Like you can start to maybe get on your feet a little bit, but even 30 days to even just get a job is going to be tough. So it's like, that's kind of unrealistic sounding to like have a place to stay for 30 days and to be able to come out of that with a job and a new apartment and stuff. That's so much to do in 30 days, especially if you have kids.
Exactly. 3 kids. I don't have a job. I was still fucking up. So I felt like I was in shit. I felt like this little, like, fuck, I ain't shit. I ain't gonna make it. I'm a piece of shit. So anyways, my last day on that shelter, they were like, you have one more day, you know? Tomorrow's your last day. The following day, I get called from that shelter in Glendale. Oh, we accepted you, blah, blah, blah. And it was a 2-year shelter. You were able to stay there for 2 years.
Wow.
And I hated it. I hated it because everybody was so fucking nice in Glendale. Hi. Bitch, what the fuck you happy for? Like, what are you smiling about?
Right.
You know? But because I wasn't happy, and I'm so used to being around like the gutter, the destructive area that everybody's down there trying to survive, you know, that when I seen happy people, I hated it. But my oldest will always tell me, Mom, please, let's not leave. Please, let's stay here, Mom, please. And then that played in my head like, okay, do it for your kids. Do it for your kids, man. And I did it for them. And I stood there, and ever since then, I've been trying to like better myself as a person, because I ain't perfect. You know, I still have little fuck ups, like my little fucked up ways. And I just been like transitioning. Now I live there, I live in an apartment, and just trying to better myself every day.
Okay, so you just saw the clip, but did you know that you can watch this entire interview right now before it's released to the public, uncensored, by becoming a member for just $5 a month? And there's a lot of other crazy benefits as well. So make sure you hit the link down in the description and sign up. Appreciate y'all.